Have you ever stood in front of your closet, thinking about that one piece you let go, and instantly felt a pang of regret? Maybe it was a beautiful blazer that fit like it was made for you, or a scarf you bought during a special trip. At the time, it felt right to clear it out. Maybe you thought it was outdated, maybe you needed space. But now, you wish you could reach back in time, pull it off the donation pile, and hold on to it forever. The truth is, style trends come and go, but certain pieces, timeless fashion staples, never truly lose their magic. When we let them go too quickly, we often find ourselves chasing something similar years later, only to realize nothing compares to the original. And for women over 50, these items aren't just fabric and thread, they're part of our story, our confidence, our identity. I learned this the hard way. Years ago, I donated a cashmere coat that had been with me for over a decade. It felt too formal for my lifestyle at the time, but just last winter, I found myself searching high and low for something even remotely similar, and nothing measured up. That coat wasn't just warm, it carried elegance, memories, and a kind of quiet luxury that today's fast fashion can't replicate. We often think decluttering is the ultimate form of self-care, and sometimes it is. But there's a fine line between letting go of the unnecessary and throwing away pieces that could have been reimagined into something fresh and exciting. That's what I want to talk about today. The clothes I wish I'd never let go, and why they still matter in my style journey. Because here's the thing, holding on to certain items isn't about hoarding or refusing to move forward. It's about understanding which pieces have lasting value, both emotionally and stylistically. Whether it's the perfect little black dress, a vintage pair of jeans that fits like a glove, or a silk scarf that lights up your face, some things simply deserve a second life in your wardrobe. In this video, I'll walk you through the items I regret giving away, the lessons I've learned from those mistakes, and how you can avoid making them yourself. And along the way, we'll explore how to keep your style fresh, elegant, and uniquely yours, without falling into the trap of constant out with the old. So, let's open that mental closet door together, take a deep breath, and start with the first piece I still dream about wearing today. Some items are more than just layers of fabric. They're the frame around the portrait of your style. For me, coats have always been that frame, especially the classic ones like a perfectly tailored trench coat, a structured blazer, or a buttery soft cashmere overcoat. They're the kind of pieces that instantly add polish, even if you're just wearing jeans and a simple top underneath. I used to think I didn't need them. After all, I lived in a mild climate and my lifestyle was casual. So one by one, I let them go. The beige trench that made me feel like I'd stepped out of a magazine, gone. The navy blazer that somehow made every outfit look intentional, donated. And the long charcoal cashmere coat I wore through countless winters. I still feel a little ache when I think about it. What I didn't realize back then was that classic outerwear never truly goes out of style. Trends might shift, oversized silhouettes one year, cropped jackets the next, but the trench, the blazer, the tailored overcoat remain timeless. Even better, the older they get, the more character they develop, especially if they're made from quality materials. A good coat molds to you over time, carrying your shape, your scent, even your memories. And here's the kicker, replacing them is rarely easy. When you've owned something with impeccable fabric, perfect cut, and years of wear that made it yours, buying a new one often feels like a pale imitation. That's why today I tell every woman, especially those over 50, invest in quality outerwear and think twice before parting with it. A great coat isn't just a purchase, it's a long-term relationship. Because if the coat is the frame, then what it surrounds is the art. And sometimes, the art that deserves that frame is a dress you thought was too fancy to keep, but now wish you had. If coats are the frame, then dresses are the portrait itself, soft, graceful, and full of personality. And yet, in my years of closet purges, I let go of dresses that could have easily carried me through decades of stylish moments. One of my biggest regrets, a simple black sheath dress I bought in my 40s. It wasn't flashy, it didn't scream for attention, but it fit like it was made just for me. Over time, I convinced myself it was too plain, too predictable. I gave it away, thinking I'd find something more modern. Years later, I realized that was a classic little black dress, the kind that never really loses its charm. Then there was the wrap dress in a deep jewel tone that made my skin glow. It worked in every season, with heels in the summer and boots in the winter. At the time, I thought I'd worn it enough, that it had served its purpose. Looking back, I see it was a rare piece, one that could flatter my figure at any age. Here's the thing about timeless dresses. They're not about trends. They're about proportion, fabric, and how they make you feel. For women over 50, a well-cut dress can be a secret weapon. It softens edges, highlights your best features, and, when chosen right, never feels dated. These days, I hold on to any dress that meets three criteria: quality fabric, a silhouette that flatters me now, and a color that lights up my face. Because even if I don't wear it often, I know the right occasion will come, and I'll be glad I kept it. And just like a perfect dress deserves the right shoes, the next regret on my list is about the bottoms. The pants and jeans that carried both comfort and sophistication in equal measure. Pants may not seem as sentimental as a favorite dress, but trust me, when you find the perfect pair, they're worth holding on to like treasure. For me, that meant two very different styles: a pair of vintage straight leg jeans and a set of high quality wide leg trousers. Both are long gone now, and I've been chasing their replacements ever since. The jeans had that perfect balance, soft from years of wear, but still structured enough to flatter. They sat just right at the waist, made my legs look longer, and somehow worked with everything from sneakers to heels. I let them go in a moment of decluttering fever, thinking I'd replace them with something trendier. But here's the problem. Jeans trends change fast, and not every cut flatters every stage of life. Those vintage jeans had survived every style cycle, and now I wish I'd kept them through every single one. Then there were the wide-leg trousers in a fluid, drapey fabric. Paired with a crisp blouse, they made me feel taller, slimmer, and effortlessly put together. They worked for dinners, travel, even casual weekends when I wanted something a little more elevated. I parted with them thinking, I can always buy another pair. But the truth is, the perfect fit, especially for women over 50, can be hard to find again. Quality tailoring, good fabric, and the right proportions are a rare combination. Now, I tell every woman, when you find pants that make you feel unstoppable, keep them. Take care of them. Styles will change, but a flattering, well-made pair will always be relevant. And just as a great pair of trousers can be the foundation of an outfit, the right accessories can transform it completely. Which brings me to my next regret: the scarves, belts, and handbags that told a story before I let them go. Some items in our wardrobe don't just add style, they add a chapter to our personal history. For me, those were the scarves, belts, and handbags that carried not only outfits, but memories. And yet, in the name of simplifying, I let too many of them slip through my fingers. I once owned a silk scarf in shades of cream and gold, bought during a trip to Paris in my early 50s. It was light as air, with hand-rolled edges that spoke of craftsmanship you can't always find today. I wore it on my anniversary dinner, on flights to new destinations, even to the grocery store when I needed a touch of elegance. But one day, I decided it felt too special for my everyday life and gave it away. Now, I wish I'd let it keep telling its story in my wardrobe. Then there was a wide, supple leather belt in a deep mahogany brown. It cinched dresses perfectly, gave shape to loose blouses, and carried a richness that only real leather gains over time. I told myself I'd replace it with something newer, sleeker, but nothing ever felt the same. And of course, the vintage handbag, small enough to be charming, large enough to be practical. It had the kind of understated elegance you only appreciate once it's gone. I remember carrying it to my daughter's graduation, to brunches with friends, to Sunday markets. It wasn't just a bag, it was a witness to life's moments. Accessories like these aren't just embellishments, they're bridges between your style and your memories. They have the power to elevate the simplest outfit and carry a piece of your personal story wherever you go. And just like accessories can change the feel of an outfit, shoes can change the way you carry yourself entirely. Which is why my next regret is about the classic footwear I thought I could live without, until I realized I couldn't. Shoes are more than just something we walk in. They set the tone for how we move through the world. The right pair can give you confidence, elegance, and a quiet sense of power. And yet, I let go of shoes that were more than footwear. They were part of my signature style. One pair I'll never stop thinking about was a set of black leather pumps with a modest heel, just high enough to elongate the leg, but comfortable enough to wear all day. They went with everything: trousers, dresses, skirts, even jeans when I wanted to elevate the look. I parted with them during a closet overhaul, convinced they were too plain. But true style, as I've learned, is often found in simplicity done well. Then there were the ankle boots in soft, rich suede. They slipped on like a glove, never pinched, and made me feel instantly put together, whether I wore them with a midi skirt or wide leg pants. I thought they were replaceable. I was wrong. Finding boots that combine comfort, quality, and timeless design is a rare gift, one I foolishly gave away. And I can't forget my pair of leather loafers, worn in just enough to be supremely comfortable, yet still sharp enough for dinner out. They had traveled with me, walked countless streets, and somehow made every outfit feel a little more intentional. The loss of these shoes taught me something important. Comfort and elegance are not mutually exclusive, and when you find both in a single pair, hold on to them. They're not just about completing an outfit, they shape the way you carry yourself. And just as shoes influence your presence, there's one more category that can transform your entire look in seconds without even touching your clothing, which is why my next regret isn't about clothes at all, but about hair pieces and accessories I should have kept. Fashion isn't limited to the clothes we wear. It extends to the way we style our hair, the details that frame our face, and the accessories that add a touch of personality. Over the years, I've let go of hair pieces and accessories that could have made getting dressed not only easier, but more exciting. One of my greatest regrets is a high-quality wig I owned in my late 50s. It was made from real human hair, cut into a sleek bob that looked so natural no one guessed it wasn't my own. I wore it during a particularly busy season of my life when salon visits weren't always possible. It gave me instant confidence on days when my hair just wouldn't cooperate. I sold it after thinking I wouldn't need it anymore. But now I see it could have been my secret weapon for special occasions or days when I wanted an instant transformation. Then there were the silk-covered headbands I collected, some in soft neutrals, others in vibrant prints. They weren't just pretty, they had a way of pulling an outfit together, making me look polished even on a casual day. I let most of them go in a donation box, thinking they were too youthful. I wish I'd known then that style has no expiration date. I also remember a set of vintage hair combs with delicate pearl detailing. They were perfect for adding a subtle elegance to an updo or securing a loose bun. I wore them to weddings, anniversaries, and holiday dinners. But somewhere along the line, I decided they were taking up too much space in my jewelry box. Now, I think of them often, how a small accessory can carry such big impact. Hair pieces and accessories are like the finishing brushstrokes on a painting. They might seem small, but they can completely change the mood, the silhouette, the story you're telling. And that brings me to the heart of this entire journey, the reason these regrets matter, and the lessons they hold for any woman building a wardrobe she'll truly love for a lifetime. Looking back at all the coats, dresses, pants, accessories, shoes, and hairpieces I've let slip away, I realize something important. Regret isn't really about the item itself, it's about the value and meaning it carried. Each piece had its own story, its own role in shaping how I presented myself to the world. Losing them wasn't just about losing fabric or leather, it was about letting go of a little piece of my personal history. For women over 50, style often becomes more than a passing trend. It's about finding what feels authentic, what flatters without trying too hard, and what makes us feel like the best version of ourselves. That's why certain pieces, like a perfectly tailored blazer, a flattering dress, or a pair of well-made shoes, deserve a permanent place in our wardrobes. They're not simply clothes, they're companions on the journey. Of course, decluttering has its place. Our closets shouldn't be weighed down with items we never wear or truly dislike. But I've learned that before we part with something, we should pause and ask, can this be reimagined? Could this still serve me in a different way? Will I miss it in a year or in 10? That moment of reflection can save us from the kind of regret I've shared today. Another lesson: quality always outlasts trends. Fast fashion comes and goes, but timeless fashion pieces, those made with care and intended to last, become even more valuable as the years pass. They age with us, adapt with us, and often become more beautiful over time. That's why investing in fewer, better pieces is worth it, and why protecting them is an act of self-care. But perhaps the most important takeaway is this: style is deeply personal. It's not about keeping everything, nor is it about chasing every new trend. It's about curating a collection of clothes and accessories that reflect who you are right now, while honoring the parts of your past that still bring you joy. So before you toss that old scarf, donate those outdated trousers, or give away those heels you haven't worn in a while, think about the memories they hold, the possibilities they still carry, and the confidence they might give you again someday. If this video has inspired you to see your wardrobe in a new light, I'd love for you to join me on this journey. Subscribe for more style tips for women over 50, timeless fashion inspiration, and ways to keep your look elegant and uniquely yours at any age. Because in the end, fashion fades, but the way we feel in the right clothes, that's forever.